Hey, welcome back everyone. I guess you've been wondering where I was. It's been like over a week since I last posted a video. When I got that car running last week, the next day I got sick. I'm still not 100%, feeling better, but a lot good enough to be able to come out here and make another video, because I'm sure you want to do a follow-up video. This is going to be like a part 2. But yeah, I don't know if it was something that sprayed in my face, but I was sick as a dog for a good week. I'm still not right, but it should be good enough now to be able to carry on this video. Anyway, we'll spin this around and I'll switch the video over. So right now where I am at is the car runs. Right now I'm going to test this with the ignition, because it does turn on and off with the ignition switch. I want to see if it's the starter wire works. So I'm going to set you up on the stand and probe it and see if it works on the key. I did manage to get the shifter out of gear. If you remember last time, it was stuck. There is something a little wrong with the tumbler, like it probably just needs a good lube, but it was jammed up, and but wiggled the key around and turned the lock and was able to get it out of park. So hopefully today I should, try and run it. I did go and get some fluid, some transmission fluid, because I did check the dipstick and it's pretty low. So let's see if that starter wire works. And the next step is top some fluid off and see if it'll move. See if I can get those wheels to turn. So what I've got here is just a simple test light, and we just hook it to the battery. So, and it's the heavy wire, so we've got to kind of probe it in there, just in between the connector and the rubber, so it holds it in place. Put that there and see what happens if I turn that key. It should light up when I try to start. See, it's not starting. Making sure. Just let me make sure that, you know what, let's just test it, make sure this works. It's working. Okay, try again. Maybe just didn't have the right contact. Rubbers. There we go. Yep, see, the key does work. So the starter does work. So now, if I plug in the starter motor, it should crank on the key. Sorry I'm slibbing, guys, because I am still not feeling the greatest. I've got a really bad phlegmy throat. I was hacking up my lungs last week. And you didn't want to hear me doing that every 10 seconds. I mean, I was coughing that bad, I was almost throwing up. Pump some gas. Let's see if she fires up. start. The battery's loose. Tighten up the battery. I hear the relay clicking, the battery's loose. I left this loose so I could disconnect it at night. I don't like leaving the battery hooked up when I'm not around. I don't want it too tight in case I have a fire and I can just whip that cable off. Woohoo! That's pretty good. It hasn't ran in over a week. Fired right up. Right, I'm going to throw some transmission fluid in it. Let's see if we get any movement. Because right now, I'm pretty sure if I stick it in gear, nothing's going to happen because it's that low on fluid. It's in reverse now, it's going forward, so it's really low on fluid. Yeah, there's a loose lug nut on there too. So let's top up the fluids and see what happens. Might be driving this around the yard today. Oops, sorry, bumped it. These cars do use F-type. That's the power steering pump you can hear. Throw some in there as well. Turning in the other direction now. Let me just throw a bit of fluid in that power steering pump because it's loud. Idler pulley's noisy. Might be a water pump too. Trick, finding noises like exhaust leaks. Just got to be careful of the fan, just like a stethoscope. Yeah, if that idler fully is dry, the bearing's dry. She's turning nicely in reverse, that's good. That one for now. See how we go. I'm going to turn it off. I've still got a chain on the back. Drop it down. I'm going to roll it outside. So I don't want to start it in here in gear in case something goes bad. So I've got room. I don't want to wreck the car. So I'm going to turn it off, lower it down, and just push it outside. So if I start up, because I've got no brakes, so I can drive around the yard and I'll take it for a ride, see if it moves. Fluid pissing out somewhere. Probably the power steering, I probably dumped too much in there. Yeah, I did. Still needs to be bled. Yeah, I should start it, I'll bleed the power steering system out, turning it from side to side. Turning the steering wheel from lock to lock, leave all the air out of the system. Okay, how much did it puke out? Yeah, that's not too much. So I'll drop it down, take the chain off, roll it outside, and let's see if this thing drives. I'm ready to push it outside, so I'm just going to roll it back out into the yard. Hopefully I can push it. These things weigh a ton. Clear here. Yep. Oh, come on, go. Once you get up that lip, it'll roll by itself. There's nothing out there. Okay, as long as it doesn't turn the wheels while I'm rolling, it hits the garage wall. There we go. Bye-bye. And she's outside again. Just a little side note. A couple of days ago, I sold 3 other cars. I sold the Dodge, the Chrysler, and there's another Dodge behind that Cadillac. I sold them locally, but I sold this fastback to a guy in Scandinavia, of all places. So I'm going to make a little video of prepping this car so it can be shipped. I've got to put some wheels and stuff on the front. It's missing the spindle on this side. But I think it's the same as the Cougar, so I'll pull the spindle and the rotor off a Cougar and see if I can make it roll. The same here. I've got Cougar's actually got a couple of sets of rotors in it, but he just needs it so it can roll on and off a truck. I know there's no steering column. I mean, the guy's pretty trustworthy. He's actually asked me to go and buy a car locally, just a sedan, because he needs all the front clip, the engine and the steering column. And locally there was just not a fastback, but a sedan for sale, a 2-door. It was actually a 2-door hardtop, but it's not a fastback. So he wanted me to strip it all off and put it on this, and I said, no, it's too much work for me. What I will do is make this one roller, and he's going to ship with both cars. Apparently this guy is big into Torinos and Fairlanes, fastbacks. So, but anyway, yeah, this thing's going to Denmark, which is good, because I know those guys. I used to work for a Swedish car restorer, and you wouldn't believe what they can do with cars over in Sweden and Norway and Finland and Denmark. Well, they got those big long winters, and there's nothing else to do except, you know, hang out in your shop all winter and restore cars, because you can't go outside because they got the nighttime as well, the 24-hour nighttime. But back to this old girl. Just to make sure I've got clearance there. Yeah, I should be able to start this thing in gear and just drive off, because I've got no brakes. But I'll set you up in the car. I don't think the windows work, so I can't roll the windows down. I really need to get a magnet so I can just clamp the magnet on, like on the roof of the camera on it, and just drive around. But yeah, no, boy, I was sick last week. I was in bed for about 4 days, just coughing and coughing and coughing. And plus having my long-term COVID, it didn't help. I was getting a little panicky. I did take a COVID test, it was negative. Yeah, I'm still hurting. My body's all aching from coughing so much. I mean, I was coughing that bad that I was actually starting to throw up. I was having total coughing fits. I don't know if it was the dust. I don't know if you saw in the last video. I got showered with dirt and dust from this engine when I fired it up. And I wonder if I picked up something out of there, you know. I really should be careful with mouse poop and rat shit and, you know, the old, was it hantavirus? I really should be a little more careful. But anyway, I need to put the dipstick back in the power steering pump, and I'll set the camera up in the car and see if this thing will drive. Okay, I'm just going to hold the camera. I think that'd be easiest in case it falls over. Yeah, oil pressure's coming up. The fuel gauge even works. Oh my god. Yep, fuel gauge is moving. Alternator's not, because I don't have the alternator hooked up. Right. Turn the wheel this way. Put her in drive. Oh, yeah, I felt drive. Here we go. We are moving. Now I got no brakes. So I hope my dog moves. Come on, move, move, move. Good boy. Oh, yeah. Be careful my trailer, I'd clip it. I did clip the trees the other day with my trailer and mangled up one of my fenders. And there's a couple of familiar faces there. The black car is going to be the next project on the channel. And the gold car can come back into the garage. But yeah, I can drive around my lot. When I get into the little straight there, I'll nail it, see what happens. Ooh, come on, stop, Gil, stop. Put it in neutral. Yep, went into reverse. Yeah, reverse is there. Neutral. My stupid dog's walked right in front of my car. There she is there. They're usually pretty good, but I got no brakes in case something does go wrong. Oh yeah, she moves. No, steering. Lost the steering, she stalled. Yes, the risk of driving with no brakes. But she took off pretty good. I was spinning the tires. I left the hood open in case I have to do a quick disconnect. And I'm really waiting for this tyre, that right front tyre, to pop at any moment. It's got a huge big crack on the inside. So if the car drops, you know what happened. It doesn't have a limited slip, so I checked the numbers on it. There should be a nice big skid mark here though. Can't see. Let's put her in neutral. Let's see if I left a skid mark, because I did hear it. Let's roll it up a little bit and then go back and take a look, see if I left a skid mark. It felt like I spun the tyres pretty good. We'll pull it in reverse. Yeah, in the park. Okay. And let's see. I left a skid mark there. Oh yeah, I can see it from here. Yep. She runs good. It's just a little exhaust leak. Oh, I did spin both tyres. Oh, I better double check those numbers. Big skid mark right there where he's peeing on. Thank you, Dolby. Good boy. And another big skid mark here. Yeah. Let's check the door number, see if it is a limited slip. It's running nicely, I can hear it rumbling away. Yeah, there's a Cougar. They got T-boned. T-boned pretty hard. Got smacked in the front and spun around, and it took the rear end out as well. And I've been using the plasma cutter to cut out sheet metal for my Mustang. That's why I got the car. But I should be able to take the front end out of that to get that fair lane rolling. Okay, let's look at the numbers. No, it's not a... If it's a number, it's an open. If it's a alphabetical letter, then it's a limited slip. And this is an open, it's a number 6. So probably a 2.8 or a 3.0. U is a C6. Wonder if it's been changed. I know it's got the big brakes on the back too. Normally they don't have the big fin brakes, they just have the regular drums. This has got the huge big fins on it. Might have been changed out. He might have changed it out because he was on a ranch and dirt roads. Because I did live out in the country, so. Well, next is brakes. So I'm going to order the brakes for it. That shouldn't be too far away. About 2 days at most, 2 or 3 days. It's usually the master cylinder I got to wait for. But yeah, she runs, and I got to put the alternator on. I got to figure that out as well. Switch out these lights, and then it'll be its first wash and wax and polish in 40 years. And I'm going to fix that grille. It's a bit of roofless and toothless. And the emblem's broken too. I think I have another one. The early cars are 69s. This is actually glass. It's porcelain. The later ones are plastic. There's a plastic one. Yeah, it's going to clean up. It's not going to be perfect, but I get most of this black shit out of there. I used to be a detailer. I used to be a detailer when I was younger, in my 20s. It'll clean up. I'm gonna spray it down with bleach first to kill all this mold. I may even colour sand it. It has been repainted. I can feel it. It's a really bad paint job. I might go over a little 1000 grit and see what happens if I can bring a shine onto it. And like I said before, tear this roof off and just clean it up a little bit. I'll just bed liner it until, for now, these tops are over 750 bucks each for the correct one, so it's going to have to wait. I don't have $750 laying around just for a piece of vinyl. So, but yeah, like I've said before, guys, whenever I get monetized, any money I do collect, it's going back into these cars, and that's it, nothing else. After October I should be fine. I'm 61, I turned 62 in October, and once Social Security kicks in I should be able to do a little bit more. But right now I haven't worked for over a year, just living off savings and selling cars, all the non-Lincolns. But yeah, oh yeah, everyone's honest, you know. Half the people go on YouTube, it's to make a little extra income. Well, you know, I need to supplement my expenditure on these cars, because some of the stuff isn't cheap. Like a top for $750, I don't have $750 laying around. I'm just an average guy, nothing fancy, paycheck to paycheck kind of guy, so just like everybody else. Yeah. And I kind of don't like watching channels where guys start out, and I won't mention his name. I really enjoyed watching him. He was just working in his garage at home, fixing lawnmowers and stuff like that, like everybody else can do. And then he got big and monetized, and he got this huge big workshop with lifts and everything, and I think that's not what the average guy does. I like watching him fixing stuff at home. You know, he's got this big fancy workshop. Well, none of us, even You know, I'm privileged to have this thing. I bought this house in when the market crashed back in 08. I brought it for the shop. I hate the house. House is good, but it's just dated. It's a house within a house. It was originally a 1,000 square foot house. It's now a 2,600 square foot house, but it's an awkward house. I would love to just demolish it and build a new house here, because the wife and I do love living here. Like, it's March, and I'm ready for t-shirts. I just got a fleece on now, polar fleece, but I could easily just walk around in a t-shirt now. And the summers don't get too hot, 95, so because I'm at nearly 5,000 foot elevation. But anyway, back to this. So I'm gonna park it up. I'll get online with Napa, order all the parts. I know what I need to get. Hardware kit. I'll pull the back wheels off just to check the how the brake shoes look. If they're okay, I'm not going to replace them. But I did, when I switched the wheels out, I did notice the pads were good on this, so I'm just going to do calipers. Can't get hoses for these. I think I can get the back hose, but you cannot buy the front hoses, so I've got to, I know it's not what I want to do, but I've just got to leave the original brake hoses on here. And usually I have noticed with these master cylinders, the ones they get now, this fitting is on this side. You can flip that hose round, that line round, and put it right here. I have had to do that before, because you can't get the original ones with a feed on this side. You got to go from this side. But the way they design that line, you can turn it around and it bolts right in. So it's just not correct if you're going to have a show car, but it does work. Yeah. It runs nice. See if the temperature's come up yet. Now that I've been driving it around. See if the temperature gauge works. Yeah, it's moved. Temperature gauge has moved. So it's all the gauges are working. Fuel gauge is working. The fuel light's out because I put 5 gallons in there. Did hear the fan the other day when I switched it on. It's low on pressure, so the AC's not kicking in, but I'm going to disconnect the compressor anyway for now until it gets too hot. Then I'll hook it up and may fill it. So brakes, and then it's going to be a huge big detail. Get all the interior looking nice. Got the armrest in the garage. I may order the horn, the rim blow for it. They're about $100. So they actually, the guys who got Mark III, the 69 Mustang rim blow is the same. You take this off, there's a little clip in here, and there's 2 little wires that come up in here and plug in and replace the rim blow. I did one in the red car, it was bad as well. So let's see if I can get this thing back by the workshop, and I'll order the brakes. And it was good to be back, guys. Like I said, I was sick. I mean, I wasn't on death's bed, but you didn't want to hear me coughing up my lungs, because I was bad. Nice day today. It's Friday, so I'll probably post this video tonight. I don't do too much editing, it's as it is. The only time I really edit stuff out is when I'm walking to the toolbox and back, and it takes a little bit longer. But I like to show the real world, how it really is out here, how long stuff takes. You know, I could do a full resto on this car in 30 minutes, but it's not real, it's not how it works. And I've got to figure out how to get that windshield out of the other car. I've got to get my buddy over here. He actually used to be a windshield installer. We're going to get the cable and cut the other windshield out of the good car and see if we can replace this, because the cops here are bad about cracked windshields in Arizona. You'd think they'd be a little bit lenient with the heat and stuff. Because I've seen the windshield, I've actually had a windshield explode on me, just driving down the road, just explode from the heat. When you turn the AC on and the cold air hits that glass, it just, boom, it just explodes. They usually explode right along here where the vents come through. Yeah, because I'm from New Zealand, we don't have that problem. You know, really, Arizona winters are probably New Zealand summers. 70, 80 degrees, that's about it. That's our summers. Well, we get that here in Arizona in the winter time. I think it's like 70 something degrees today. But, okay, let's see if I can get this car back over by the workshop. I'm a little hesitant to drive it back into the shop. I might just push it in with the truck, because I can't get it to stop and I don't want to clip one of my cars. But I need it out of here so I can still do other stuff. I'll just park it by the garage door and we'll go from there. I took the gamble and just let it idle up. There's quite a steep incline there anyway, it slowed it right down. When you roll into the garage, it's quite steep. It's about a foot rise. But, yep. Ooh, here the headlight door's popping. So, get it up on jack stands. Then check the brakes, see what I need to order. Always get a hardware kit for the back. Usually the cables are snapped. The hardware kit's only like $7. It's not worth messing around with. Get the front calipers. I think the rotors were okay when I looked at it, when I took the wheels off. And I did plug in the window switches, and nothing works. Because the other problem I've got right now is this seat's been raised right up, and I'm having trouble. I'm 6'2", and I'm having trouble getting my head in there and my legs underneath that steering wheel. It does have a tilt column, but the tilt's not working. These are actually a GM unit. They sourced these from General Motors. I've got to get that seat as low as I can get it. They're a 6-way seat. The driver's doesn't recline, but the driver's side should. I think it has a recliner. Oh, let's have a look. Yes, it does. It's the button for the recliner. That's just for the seat release. And these cars are kind of neat too. I haven't heard on this car, but these have automatic seat releases when you open the doors. I'll do it on this car. You can hear it. So you don't have to reach and grab the button. When the car's in park or neutral, you hear it. You hear the seats clicking. Hear them? Click, click. See, I just grab the seat now and flip it. But when I close the door, they're locked in place. It's pretty neat. Hear it? There's a big solenoid with a plunger. Yeah, so I'm happy. I didn't waste my money buying this thing. I actually paid more in shipping than buying the car, but still, I'm into the car for a couple of grand. The shipping's a killer right now. Used to be able to ship them for about $500 to $800. Well, those days are gone. Greg is picking up another one for me from the same guy actually this weekend. I think he's heading up there Monday, but we're doing a deal. I'm going to fix some cars for him for the shipping. And then through this channel, a very nice guy named Paul in California reached out to me when he saw my videos on my Facebook. And he says, I've got a Mark III if you want it. He says, I inherited it and I don't want it. So Greg's going to go to California and pick that car up. The car's really, really rough, but it's a good parts car for the price of the gas to go and get it. I actually thought about doing a road trip, making a YouTube video out of it, going to get it, but Greg said he would do it for the price of gas, so I'm only paying for gas one way because Greg's dropping a car off in Northern California and coming back, and he's going to pick the car up, and he said he's just going to charge me the fuel, so it'll be a couple of $100 to pick up another one. It's a 69, but it is rough. Body's okay, but interior's completely trashed. The roof's gone, obviously, they normally are. But there's a lot of sheet metal I can use. I'm trying to think. I could probably use the bumper off the 69, because 69 bumpers are different. 69s don't have these reflectors. They don't have a reflector in there. The reflector on the 69s and the bottom of the taillights. But yeah, he inherited, the owner passed away, and where it is stored now, that owner passed away, so Paul reached out and said, you know, I've got to get this car out of where it is. So if I want it, come and get it. So that was very nice of him. I appreciate it, Paul, if you're watching. I've talked to him on the phone. And I'm supposed to be doing a job for a lady in Phoenix. I think I mentioned it. She brought one of these. I think I know the car. I saw it listed in Tucson a while back. I think it's a car the same color as that. And I know what they were asking for. I don't know what she paid for it, but she paid way too much for the car. And the engine shot. So she kind of reached out to me and asked me if I'd be interested in doing an engine swap. Pulling the engine out of that white car there. Where are we? Yeah. It's supposed to have a good engine in it. And I'm going to use the parts out of that grill. Those are intricate pieces of engineering, those grills. You would think it's all just one piece. A one-piece grill. Oh, no, that's too simple. These teeth are 3 separate pieces. There's the main ones here. That's a one piece. And I can't remember if every 2 is a separate one. Yeah, there's three units in there, and they probably weigh 10, 15 pounds each. This grill is heavy. This one cracked. Yeah, this one's cracked. You can't fix them. They always fracture in here. This one, yeah, that one's got a crack too. But there's nothing you can do about it. You can't weld them. They're pot metal. You just got to accept it. You don't really see it until you run your finger over it. Some of them just got a little hairline crack. This one's cracked all the way around. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this side's okay. It's just got the crack here. But it's good enough for this car. I mean, if it runs and drives good and stops, you know, I want to take it on the road, I might strip it and paint it. I do like the blue interior. It's the same as that one, except this one's cloth. It's identical interior. Thinking about selling this car. I was just so upset when I saw that vandalism there. I said, I haven't driven this car since, and that was early last year. I just got so pissed off when I saw that, and I went, how in the hell? That had to be deliberate, because when the car was parked, no car could have backed into it. So, okay, somebody with a hammer or a pipe or something didn't like my nice car and decided to smack it. And I do have to do a transmission service on this. But that's for another time. It can sit here. It's insured. I'm not going to claim that. There's not enough there to claim it. I've got a $1,000 deductible. I'm with Haggerty. Oh, talking about insurance, I did get paid for the roof. insurance came through and they cut me a check, or they direct deposited the money, so I got to go into town. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to go into town and buy the packs of shingles and the, what do they call that, torch down, and fix my roofs. Because it's been raining almost every day here. It rained here last night. The ground's still, I don't know if you can see it, the ground's still wet. I was kind of worried about driving this around the yard and getting stuck in the mud. Because in the summertime, this is like talcum powder. It is terrible. Can never keep my cars nice and shiny. I get ready for a car show. I drive out to the gate and the car's completely covered in dust again. So I got to wipe it down. Disconnect this battery. And start again. Can't put tyre shine on here because it just blows the dust on the tyre shine. Those tyres have got shine on, they're all covered in dust. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. I'm sorry I had to let you guys wait for so long. I was looking at my analytics on YouTube and I saw the viewership dropping right down to zero, and I thought, oh no, I'm going to lose my followers. The wife did suggest I just put a little PSA on there saying, hey guys, I'm sick, I'll be back soon. But I said to her yesterday, I've got to go out to the garage and do something. Like I say, I still don't feel great, but I feel good enough to be able to come out here and putz around a little bit with the car. So I'm going to go inside and take some more medicine, clear my chest. Yesterday my nose was running like a tap. I'm not kidding. I had to stuff tissue paper up my nose just to stop it from dribbling down my face. It was bad. Yeah, I was not in a good place. I was not in a good mood. So anyway, guys, like I say, please like and subscribe. I love the comments too. You know, please comment. I enjoy those, good or bad. I don't mind the criticism. Like I said before, if you don't criticize people, they're not going to learn anything. So, like, you know, people complained about music and I learnt my lesson. No more music. I might just put a little bit of music in if I'm doing like a fast, you know, time-lapse video. Like power washing or whatever, you know. Might just put a little bit of music in that, but no, not anymore while I'm talking. I learnt. So, I do appreciate you guys telling me that. Because it's about you guys. You know, it's entertaining you guys, and if you're not entertained, you're not going to watch my channel. And what's the point in me doing anything then? You know, even making friends. I had a couple of people reach out to me. They want to get in touch. Nothing special, just other followers that have kind of sent me a private message. Hey, we're not far away from you. Let's get together. I did have Travis here. I can't think of his name. I will put a link to his channel. He lives in Tucson. He brought a Chrysler off me if you watch his channel. Like I say, I'll put the link down below. I can't think of his channel right now, but his name's Travis Blade. I had a 69 Chrysler four-door here, and he brought that, and he did the challenge. He's going to get it running and drive it 500 miles as it is. And he drove it to the Grand Canyon and back. I couldn't believe it. Well, he came back the other day. We hung around for a little bit. He got a few bits and pieces off this car because this car is getting crushed. So it was good catching up with Travis. He gave me some tips and do's and don'ts with my YouTube channel. Because I was a little bit worried about specializing in just Lincolns. And he said there's plenty of people that just want to watch Lincoln videos because nobody else is doing them. You know, everyone's doing muscle cars or, you know, high-end classic cars, but none of these neglected Lincolns that nobody loves anymore. So one day I will do a video on that Park Lane. It's a Mercury Marauder. It's got a badly blown head gasket. I did get it running one time, but that being because I said to him, you know, I need to do something, just something different. because other people don't want to watch me fixing Lincolns all the time. I was going to do that Dodge, but I sold it. Then I sold the Chrysler 300, and then I sold that 57 Dodge. One guy brought all three of them. He's a huge Mopar guy. And he said, I'm like you, I'm just collecting Lincolns, or not Lincolns, but Mopars, and one day I'm going to do my channel as well. Just fixing old cars. He actually works at a transmission shop. Just up the road here, kind of where that big pine tree is over there. If you keep going, it's Highway 90 heading south into Sierra Vista. There's a transmission shop down there. So he's just around the corner from me. But I've got to pull the wheels off that Chrysler, and he's going to get some tyres mounted so he can get these things loaded up on his trailer, because they're all flat tyres. So I'm going to do that next. Put that thing up on blocks or stands. Or even just lay a few of these old wheels. Got a bunch of Kragers laying around. They're all 14-inch though, they're no good to me. So, yeah, so it's a nice day. Dolby's eating grass, so he's going to be puking shortly. Empty his gut out. I don't know where Daisy is. Daisy! She's probably hiding under a tree somewhere. It's getting warm. Okay, guys, I'm going to sign off. Yapping too much again. Thanks for sticking around. I do appreciate you hanging out and sticking around. And like I said, you know, please like and subscribe and do comment. And I will catch you on the next one. I won't be far away. I'm just going to put this up on stands, see what I need to order for the brakes. Just the calipers on the front. I don't think I need pads, because I think the pads were still good on this. They were bright and shiny, so it looked like they'd just been replaced. And I got to check the hardware on the back and see how the shoes are. Make sure the shoes aren't delaminating off the backings. And I'll just order cylinders and hardware kit for those. I will order the line, the rubber line for this one, but I can't get the lines for this. So I even looked at the Mustang, because the Mustang uses the same brakes. I know I'm going on and on again, but the Ford, the Lincoln has these huge big brackets that kind of mount this on here. I thought maybe the Mustang was the same, but they're not. They are different, unless I modify something, make a little bracket to mount these on. This is, no, that's actually spot welded on there. That's the whole bracket. Yeah, it's bolted on there. Yeah, I know you can't get the hoses for these. Yeah, I mean, I could buy NOS, but they're 40, 50 years old too, so what's the point in using those? They're just as dry rotted as the ones on there. Yep. Anyway, bye-bye, guys. Catch you on the next one.